all the foods that I can. So
Mm.
I got a lot of family. And normally we like, hey, I call it house hopping. All right, it's house
Ah,
hopping.
yeah.
I'm gonna be real. It's house hopping. I go from this family to this part of the family to this part of the family, getting plates along the way, including the sweets. But yeah,
Mm.
you gotta strategically plan that out. And then I'm somewhere. Obviously, normally the Cowboys play on that day as well. So I find a spot around that time to hang out at. But it's all in fun, just trying to, get to all my family, show thanks, and eat good food. But I'm not sure. I need to make sure. That's normally my plans. That's normally what I do. But obviously, some things can change.
That's
So
true.
we'll see. We'll see.
That's very true. And good morning, Mitch. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. And I want to say this right now: we're thankful for y'all that have been rocking with us. That those that have been a part of this show ever since we started having this idea. When we started having it on Instagram and things of that nature, and you guys just been continuously rocking with us as we moved it over to YouTube and LinkedIn. So I wanted to say a special thank you to y'all. Because of y'all, we could keep this
Yes.
thing moving and grooving.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeed. And with that being said, we have the question for the morning that we wanted to throw out to you guys. But before we do that, go ahead, like, comment, and share if you are on LinkedIn. And if you are on YouTube, go ahead and like, comment. If you want to share, that's great as well. But also don't forget to subscribe to our channels. And if you want to call into the show, as you may know or see, if you're on YouTube, you can have that option to call into the show. Your face doesn't have to be shown or anything like that. But go ahead, feel free to call into the show and we can have a conversation about everything that we got going on. So, with that being said, we got the question of the morning here for y'all. And Scott, I know you're driving, so you probably won't be able to answer this, but Mitch and others, you could definitely answer this question if you would like. And that is, who is the most famous person you have met? And
Mm.
I'm gonna let our brother Trey take this one first.
Oh man, you got one, man. I really haven't met like anything like crazy, crazy, right?
No, the
I guess
person
the
you met
one
was
that I was
yeah, I
about to
think
say the one that I can remember, right? I was younger, like maybe 12 or something like that. And me and the family, we were all sitting. First of all, do we have Cracker Barrels anywhere outside of Texas? I'm not even sure, but
yeah.
no, you know what? You told me yesterday, y'all. You think you might have some up there, but anyways, I was at this restaurant, Cracker Barrel, with my family, getting the good old pancakes. I don't know, they mastered the art of pancake making. Okay, you got that crispy edge around the pancakes. You already know you about to get into something good.
Dig
Okay,
in.
and yeah, so I was smashing down on those crispy pancakes, and I looked over, man, and I saw Kirk Franklin and his family sitting down eating as well. And I was like, yo, I think that's Kirk Franklin. And so I told my mom, I'm like, yo, mama, is that who I think it is? And then she was like, oh yeah, that's him. That's him. And I'm like, okay, I need to get an autograph or something. I can't just let this opportunity pass. And this is before, the autograph was the photo, right? We know now,
Yeah,
now it's like, man, forget your autograph, man. What a photo or the video at? That's what I need. But
yeah.
anyways, I went over and got an autograph on a napkin. The napkin obviously is gone. Been gone, long gone. I was a kid. What was I? What was I thinking?
Yeah,
Anyways, that was
your
that
mom was
was
on
mine.
that. I'm gonna go to the conversation real quickly because I got some stuff here that I didn't even know. Mitch says there's a Cracker Barrel. Hold on. First of all, let's go to Darcel. Darcel says Little Scrappy at Six Flags. I wonder how that
Hey,
story was.
that's hilarious, man. Hey, Darcel, I was passing through TV yesterday and I saw Lil Scrappy in a wheelchair rapping on Wild and Out. I was like, wait a minute, why is he in a wheelchair? But his leg, something was wrong with his leg. I don't even know. I just
Oh
that was funny
wow.
though. I
Oh
just saw that
wow.
yesterday. It was obviously, I think, an older episode, but
Yeah,
that was
man.
hilarious.
And then this is something I didn't realize, but it's probably true. was that Mitch says that Jersey has a Cracker Barrel. In fact, he says that there's one in Hamilton, which is that's further south for me. But good to know.
Hey,
Good to
man.
know. And there are some, and yes, I love Cracker Barrel. My wife and I are addicted. Must be
Man,
something in them
listen.
pancakes, man.
I'm telling you. Now, listen. Now, the way it looks in there is you walk in and you looking like us, you might be like, "Whoa, am I in the right place?" But I guarantee when you sit down and you cut into that pancake, man, with that crispy edge, I'm telling you, it's all about the crispy edge. It's over.
I might have to research it to see how far.
Darcel know.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And Mitch said, I have not met anybody famous. Well, don't
On
worry,
the
one
way,
day,
Mitch.
on the way.
When you
Maybe
just
you
out
might
and
be.
about.
Yeah, maybe you might be that famous person. Who knows? One day.
That too.
But I would tell my story real quickly. Growing up in New York, especially if you either work or live in the city, depending on where in the city you Manhattan, I mean, it really can be one of those different things. Oh, I got somebody on the line. I'm going to bring him up in a few, but I'm going to finish the story and just stay there, right there. And thank you for calling into the show. But in regards to my story, what happened with me was we were eating out, and this was my wife and I. There are also two of the couples, a couple that we just met, and then our friends of ours, and we're eating at this restaurant in Manhattan. I'll shout them out. Jacob's Pickle. Shout out Jacob's Pickle. One of the hugest, at least in New York, one of the hugest pieces of biscuits. Oh my goodness. Like they literally just sell biscuits in certain parts. Like they have an extension, I think, in 34th Street. They just sell biscuits, right? And
Oh,
so
I
when
know
we
them
had
biscuits good.
Oh man. So we had our daughter with us, and she was pretty young, like almost newborn, only baby in this restaurant, and she stole the show. Like when I say stole the show, everybody, we're like in the center table, everybody around us is looking at our daughter and be like, oh my gosh, she's so cute, da, 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 right? And it was one person said it, and we turned around, it was Whoopi Goldberg, and she was with her team,
God.
and she literally like, oh my gosh, that's the cutest thing. And she was like, and she was talking about how she had children our age as well, and we're like, oh man, and it was
Who would
a
have known?
cool moment. Yeah, it was a cool moment. But here's the cool thing about it was when we the manager came up to us. I believe it was the manager of the owner of the restaurant. He was like, they're giving us free stuff or giving us just extra stuff. We're like, wow. Our friends like, you got to take your baby wherever you go. um, and I was like, yeah, no, it's totally cool. But when we were going to leave, we were asking for the check, and the guy's like, oh, don't worry about it. Whoopi took care of you. And she already left by then. She literally just like paid for our table and left. So nobody can tell me anything wrong about Whoopi Goldberg, Sister Act, nothing,
Yeah.
because she showed a level of kindness that she didn't have to that day. And
No, that
so
was wild right there, man.
yeah, man, that's what happens sometimes when you when you live
Look,
in New York.
you gotta boost her heart up, man. You gotta let her know. Listen, you are
Yeah.
so beautiful. Whoopi Goldberg paid for our food because of you, girl. Because of you.
Yeah, I gotta let the little one know. But that's my
Golly,
crazy story. And then
that's wild.
Darcel, he was saying something just nice. Like, listen, I feel wrong walking in, but the food makes it worth it. Those pancakes are amazing. Oh, he's talking about
I
Cracker
know what
Barrel.
you mean. Yeah, bro. I know what he
Yeah.
means.
And Trey, you're right. Cracker Barrel is in that area. LOL.
The quote
Yeah.
air
Air
quotes. I already know,
tight
man.
air
Look,
quotes. Tight air quotes,
look,
man.
I'm telling you, feel away when you walk in. You like, I need a I need to cover my face and my hood. I don't know if anybody needs to see me in here.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna be a problem, but yeah. So yeah, and go ahead and as we are talking, we're gonna be actually having a conversation today about legacy, right? Good morning, good morning. Gonna give a shout out to Grape Soda R. Good morning, Grape Soda R.
Hey, good
Uh,
morning.
good
Good
morning.
morning.
I want to I want to get Scott on the line because we got somebody in on the line who's gonna share his story. Hold on one second, Scott. Let me bring you in, and then we could definitely have this conversation. All right. I got Scott on the line. What's up, brother?
What's up, brother? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You sound loud and clear.
Okay. All right, cool. So I got a little two-piece story. So working in retail in my younger days. I worked at a spot called Man Alive. It was like an urban hip hop store. So I had royalty
Mm.
come in all in one day. We had Devin the Dude, Scarface, and Jackie Joyner Kersey all come into the store, and I got to sell Scarface and Devin the Dude an outfit. They were doing a concert in Louisville at the time,
Oh wow.
so that was pretty, yeah. And then I got to take pictures with all three of them. And then the other one, which was a funny story, was MJ, the legend himself, was here for Derby one day and was walking around the city. A lady tried to take a picture with him, or take a picture of him, and his bodyguard came up and snatched the camera and threw it down and broke it. He said, "You got to pay for this." I tell you,
Yo,
everybody, bottles and everything, they had to run up out of the spot, bro, because everybody was going crazy. Like, I can't believe you took our camera. They threw bottles at that man.
Wow.
They was about to get jumped, boy. I'm telling you. Nah, it was hilarious. But that's the goat, man. So you got your love to MJ, but yeah, they was
yo,
not feeling his
What? That's
yes, sir.
crazy.
He almost got jumped because of his bodyguard. Yeah, it was
Oh
crazy.
man. He said, and when he said MJ, just to make it clear, you're talking about Michael Jordan, not Michael Jackson, right?
Yes, sir. Michael Jordan.
Oh my gosh. Well, man, Scott, thank you so much for calling into the show. I'm going to bring back Trey up so we can continue the conversation. But what you got to say, Trey, about that? What you got to say? What
man,
you got
that's
to say
crazy,
there?
man. Look, if you Michael Jordan, I guess you can do it, bro. Like you can do it if you him, and you tell your bodyguard, look, man, if they ain't paying, snatch their stuff and break it. Now, I will say,
Break the
I
camera.
don't know, I don't know exactly. I don't know what kind of camera that was, but if you breaking my camera, guess what? I'm getting somebody else's camera to show the damage that you just did, and driving off in one of them Jordan 23 cars, whichever one it is, and I'm getting my money back plus more,
I'm, I'm about to be able to buy about 200,000 cameras after that.
bruh. You
That
you
is
done broke. I don't know what I can look. I don't know the law, but I'm getting some. You destroyed my heart is hurt. What else? I need look. You embarrassed me in front of all these folks. I need money for that. I need money for that camera back, and then I need money to buy something either equal to or better than what I already had. I'm getting money for that. That's cold blooded, bro. You broke the camera. You didn't even have to do that, man.
man.
You could have just did like everybody else. I
You'd
think
be like, no,
everybody
no,
else,
no, no
you
camera, no
don't want
pictures, no pictures.
either that or hey, give me that phone, go to that photo and delete it, and then you delete it out to the second part. But I don't know about smashing it. That's cold as ice, man.
It's cold as ice.
Exactly. You know.
Oh man, it's cold. It's real cold. Oh man. I was able to get the Instagram people on here. So if y'all on Instagram, you want to
Hey,
comment and join the show, you have to jump on to youtube.com/@ techniques tips or youtube.com/@ tech back tray. Is that you're
that's
at tech
it.
back tray? Perfect. So if you want to comment, go ahead and do that there. But man, we're gonna continue the morning show and we're going to talk about legacy here. Specifically, we're going to talk about a story that you actually found, Trey, regarding an event that happened this weekend that we could definitely shine a light on.
Yeah, I mean, just real briefly, man. When you talk about legacy and workplace legacy, that's where, like, you see people who have been somewhere and they've done something so great that the whole company comes in. All these people, they're doing all this stuff for this one person because of the legacy that they left at that company. Changing major things, just doing great work or whatever. And I'm sure everybody saw, or maybe if you haven't is because it wasn't in your news cycle, but it came across mine and I was like, oh, that's crazy. Maybe we can talk about that in legacy. But Rosalynn Carter, man, the first lady of Jimmy Carter's wife, who was a president, if you don't know. Um, but basically, she passed away this weekend at 96 years old. And one of the things that they were talking about is that her legacy, right? Her legacy in mental health advocacy and just how she redefined the role of a president's spouse, right? You know, a lot of times when you think about the president's spouses, outside of Michelle Obama or something like that, you just really see them as like, oh, that was his wife, right? It's like, yo, they didn't really do much. They sit there, they, you know, look pretty on photos, you know, or whatever the case may be. I don't even know half of them, or over half. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't even know their name. But more than likely, this lady right here, she was one of the ones who kind of changed that for them, and just really being a person who, hey, I'm gonna not only be a great supporter, right? Because they had some pieces in there where they said Jimmy Carter, like he described her as a pivotal partner, somebody who helped him make decisions and things like that. So she really kind of influenced that side of it as well. But then she had her own thing outside of him. So yeah, she would have definitely had a legacy on her own, right? Just being Jimmy Carter's wife, as the, you know, president's wife. But she went out and she was specifically focused on building something on her own that made a huge impact, and that was, you know, doing all of the work inside of mental health advocacy. And then she was also apparently known as the Steel Magnolia, right? Because she was a shy person, or like, you know, didn't really talk a lot, but when it came to that political part or that advocacy part, apparently she could get in some butt. Okay, like she could go hard for she could go hard for the
Yeah.
people and her humanitarian work. So it was just one of those things where her global humanitarian work, it really brought light to her as an individual. And I thought that was great, because sometimes we can get caught up in the shadow of where we work, right? Like, yo, I am I'm at Apple, man. You can't tell me nothing. I'm Apple down. Apple, you know, they the goats. They go there. I got everything is Apple. But then it's
Andrew
like,
is
well, who?
nowhere.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like, who are you outside of that? Or what can you build inside of Apple that you can have your own legacy? You know, when you're able to leave that place, that they say like, yo, you know what, that man, that girl, she did her thing here. We gotta do something.
Yeah, no, I think it's a very important. In fact, that's a question that we have for everybody here. And go ahead and put it in the chat if you want, or you could call on the show. But what legacy do you want to leave? Not only at your job, but also at your house, with your kids, with your family, with your friends, with your neighbors. It's a challenging question for me too, because even though I know where I want my family and of course my friends to think of me in a certain way and things of that nature, holistically, who are you? You know, who are you as a person? And we were thinking about this, so go ahead and put in the chat. I'm gonna give you a minute or two to respond and put up your thought your responses to that. But just even looking at her life, even her, the funny thing about it, the interesting thing about it is that her husband. Now that I'm thinking about him, he was
Mm-hmm.
really kind of like that was his thing as a president, or even after he was a president,
Mm.
the humanitarian effort. So it was like a collective heart that they had for this,
Yo,
and
that's
and and yeah, and it's true. Like that's his legacy. You know, even more than his presidency was what he did on the
yo, that's awesome.
humanitarian side. Yeah, and
Oh
so
man, I'll be
yeah,
honest. I don't know much about the presidents, bro. I was that I was trash in school when it came to that. It was too many of them. I
it's
was
too
I
many.
was like I'm like, man, how am I going to pass this part of the class, man?
Social studies.
Yeah, yeah, like that part of social studies, that was a lot, bro. Just learn it. I definitely I don't know how I passed it. I think I did so well in the other parts that those grades that brought it down a little bit didn't bring it down enough. I still was able to get a B or something in there.
Yeah.
Because I definitely couldn't come home with a C. But yeah, I don't remember. I don't remember.
Yeah, man. Well, as everybody's typing, I'm going to go into this other conversation because I recently had an interview with
Yeah.
someone named Jewel Love. He is a business coach, career coach for those that are working in the tech industry or in business in general, in corporate. And he specifically has a niche for Black men. And he said he's like I stand on that, you know, because I definitely feel that their voice needs to be heard. But he specifically works with that group, that demographic, and what he does is really kind of help them go from six figures, whether it's around 150, 180, even 200,000, and scaling in their business and their career to get to about seven figures. And so we had a conversation that if you want to go ahead and check out on my channel, the live is there. His name is again is Jewel Love, and so on and so forth. Actually, let me put Scott up here because he asked the question, "What legacy do you want to leave?" And he says, "Fighting for better care for veterans and mental health, etc." That's right. We had a conversation.
It's necessary.
It is necessary. Scott and I had a conversation about that, and he has a lot of people in his family that have served, and I know people that have served, and that PTSD is real, and other things that
Man,
come along
big
with
time.
that. Yeah,
Big time.
Mitch was giving the support. He's like, I like that, but that's a great question. Even if it's something that you don't get a chance to answer in the chat, as you're thinking about your day or even your week, as we're going into the holidays, like what legacy do you want to leave? And when I was talking with Jewel, he was talking more about the legacy that you want to kind of leave, or the way I kind of interpreted it was he was talking about a legacy that you could leave in your job, but also the brand that you could build, which is a part of your legacy. And he said he likes to break it down to like about 4 different pillars. So if you did see this episode, this is a refresher. If you have not, this is a great precursor to you checking out that episode. In fact, I'm going to put it in the chat there. This is the 4 pillars, and it's taken from that interview. So go ahead if you guys want to check that out later. The link is in the chat on YouTube. You can check that out. But he talked about 4 different things. He said, the 4 things you want to do in your career and in your job is, 1, you want to excel in your current role, right? You basically, whatever you're doing, you want to make sure that you're excelling and that you're standing out. It's the worst thing to say, like, yeah, I'm not just to be in the job, but to kill it once you get there. He said, excel in your current role. And number 2, he says, internal marketing campaign. So what that means is that he encourages people to promote one's value to key players in the professional sphere, stresses the importance of having professionally crafted personal brand. So with that, what the way I interpret it is that you can, when you're going into your job, your role that you have, you're networking within people within that group, and you're starting to get a reputation for something or another. So your reputation might be like, oh man, Joe, I'm gonna just use myself for example. Joe is always, reliable. You could count on him, or your internal brand could be, yeah, he's always calling out for work. He's always on vacation doing something. So yeah, don't give that to him because he may not be able to do it. And I might make a video talking about these 4 pillars because I definitely have experienced them for myself, and I know that these are actually stuff that work. Number 3 was professional development. He basically says how you could develop yourself professionally, and this involves setting and achieving large, medium, and even small goals, and focus on continuing learning and development of a chosen field. And lastly was networking, and this is more external, but externally networking with others, whether it's on LinkedIn, people that you might meet at a networking event, and really trying to find a way to get yourself out there. But these are the type of things that he says can lead to basically growing personally and expanding who you are and leaving a positive legacy at your job and also one for your career. Any thoughts on that, y'all? Go ahead and put it in the chat. But while you're doing that, or you could call again, when you call into the show. But while you're doing that, I'm going to pass it to Trey.
Yeah, bro. I mean,
Any
that was
thoughts on that?
amazing. Nah, bro. Like if you take those 4 things right there and you focus on those while you're doing the best you can at your job, there's no way you can't leave impact.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be there. For one, I mean that last one, bro. Even if you just focused on building those great relationships, when you leave, it's gonna be hard. Like they're gonna be like, man, what can we do?
How can we keep them?
Yeah, we gotta keep him here, or all right, we gotta throw something for him. We gotta do something to show him how much we appreciate his time being here or her time being here. So, and if you do those others, it's just no way, bro. That's good. I love it. I love it.
Ain't no way. And I'm gonna go to Darcel right here in the comment section. He basically said, I want the next generation to be better than us. I frequently pour into others, especially the younger crowd, to help give them gems that I didn't get until later in life. I agree. I believe that's all of us. If we're older, if we are if we have young people around us, pouring back into them and saying, hey, do this, do that, I did that, or I can tell you that's not the right path to go. That's a great point, and I think that you're
that's
absolutely right about that.
same, bro. That's my crowd as well. I really have a heart for the kids and the children, man. Because that's what you can change, bro. People, I mean, I'm not gonna cap most adults. I'm not gonna say all, but most adults, they're already set in their ways. Like it'll take an act of God. It'll take something like crazy going on in their lives for them to really make like a true change for
Mm-hmm.
real. Not everybody, but
Yeah.
most. But when it comes to the children, man, you still got a chance with them. You still got like you still could make that one comment that changes everything for them. You still could, do that one thing that changes the trajectory of their life. And yeah, I really go hard for the children because it's hard out there for them today. I mean, I know you hear the adults like older than us say it, but for real, they got a lot. They got a lot that they got to deal with right now. So it's
Yeah.
always good to be that positive light for them.
Yeah. And in fact, I want to ask a question to the audience: is like, what pillar resonates with you the most? The pillars that we talked about, I'm going to say it again. They're excel in current role, internal marketing campaign, professional development. Which one of those four pillars resonate with you the most? That you're like, yeah, this is something that either I wanted to work on, I want to get better at. What would you say? And I'm gonna put it in the comment section there so that you guys can see it better. But yeah, go ahead. Let us know which one resonates with you the most. And in fact, I might create a little poll later on talking about the same thing, because I think that it's always good to get people's opinion on that. For
I
me,
agree.
that internal marketing is real. Internal marketing is definitely real. It's something that we should definitely talk about. But you know what? We actually did ask somebody, Trey, about this. I don't know if you remember. Of course you do remember. You were there. We asked ChatGPT about this. And
That's right.
ChatGPT gave us some thoughts. So I'm going to pass it to you to let the audience know exactly what did ChatGPT say about this subject that we're talking about now.
Yeah, y'all already know we got the subject, the segment, Ask Chat GPT anything, and we asked him. We asked him, her, whatever it is, the machine, what boundaries should I have with my? Or, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm tripping. We asked Chat GPT, how can we build a better workplace legacy, right? And it gave us some things. I'm gonna put out three of them, right? So the first one, we have mentorship and legacy, right? And it said mentor and guide others. Sharing your knowledge and experience helps others grow and also cements your role as a leader. And this one is key. It's key because what good is it to have all the information if you're not going to share it, right? If you have a way to build others in sales, why are you not helping those others who are just now starting out or who are behind you? It's not going to hurt you. Sometimes people hoard information and they don't realize the best way to get the message out, the best way to grow you as an individual is to give it out. Give it out for free. So that's number one. Number two, it said public speaking and publication, right? So sharing your insights through public speaking, writing articles, publishing research, YouTube or shows, right? And all of this increases your visibility and establishes you as a thought leader. So that one was a huge one as well. ChatGPT nailed it on the head. Like when you can, again, it went with the first one. When you can share what you know, there are other people who want to know this information or don't have access to it, right? Like we just saw earlier, Darcel, he was like, he's trying to get that information to the next generation. When you're able to do that, you don't know the impact that it has, or that butterfly effect, those ripples that it can lead to. And so it's key to do. And then the last one was long-term vision. And when you have a long-term vision for your career and your workplace, y'all, it and work towards it consistently, this helps in making decisions that align with building a lasting legacy. And one thing for sure, when I thought about this one, Joseph, I had a thought, and I was like, yo, I gotta put this in there. But when you have a long-term vision, you're able to see like, yo, this is where my path is going now, and this is where it can go if I make some tweaks. And it made me think about how many of y'all know about like the dynamite and anyways, this guy named Alfred Nobel. Alfred Nobel, he was a ridiculously wealthy Swedish scientist. He was a chemical engineer, and he earned all his money from developing and designing explosive weapons for them to use. And that's what this guy was going to be known for, like dynamite. Like if you know what dynamite is, right? Dynamite, if you know what that is, this guy is the reason why. And he was already set in the history books as an inventor of dynamite. Like that's what he was going to be known for. But in 1888, his brother died, and his brother's name was Ludwig. I don't know how they mixed this up. I guess it was 1888. Okay, they didn't have the best technology, but basically a newspaper confused both of the brothers, and they ran an obituary for Alfred, and they called him the Merchant of Death, a man who became rich by finding ways to kill more people faster than ever before. Now, because he heard that, he realized like, yo, this is what they gonna say about me. Like, this is what my legacy is. I can't have it. So he spent the rest of his life trying to avoid that type of legacy, right? That type of obituary. And he came up, right? He revised his will to leave over 90% of his fortune to basically that ended up being like roughly $250 million worth of money. But he left that to establish what is now known for an award that they give to individuals or organizations that make significant contributions to promoting peace and resolving conflict, right? It recognizes outstanding efforts to foster peace, diplomacy, and conflict resolution. Y'all, he basically changed his outlook in his life to be the creator of the Nobel Peace Prize. And we all know what that is. And so that other legacy was left behind, and now he was able to change the trajectory of that vision he had for his life, all because of that one person who wrote that obituary. So, he had luck on his side. He was able to see like, oh, this is what they're gonna say about me. Let me do something about that. Let me change that. And we do too, right? So we can do the same thing. Joseph,
Yeah,
okay, my
sorry.
bad.
I was thinking about what you just said about being the merchant of death. Like, wow, from being the
Bro,
merchant of death to now being the person that created the Nobel Peace Prize. That's a that's a huge difference.
night and day, bro. Night and day. But it took some work on his part. He had to see that long-term vision. He had the
Yeah,
network. He had to,
that's
he
crazy,
had to get out there.
bro. That's crazy. That's just crazy. Oh man. Well, yeah, definitely, y'all. Let us know what your thoughts are on that. Again, we're talking about legacy here today, and I love the answers that we've gotten already about what people
Yeah.
are saying. Uh, it's really one of those things where you really want to kind of just like really kind of it's something to kind of marinating on, really. I know that I actually got a response here from Mitch. He basically was saying that networking, that is the area that he kind of focuses on the most in regards to growing and developing. Is that it's networking. So if you guys have any thoughts on this topic, feel free to comment or go ahead and do what Scott did and call in. Scott, if you want to come back, you're always welcome to come back to talk about this subject. As I know you're driving, so be careful. But if you want to come back and talk about it, we could definitely bring you back on. But yeah, so what are your thoughts on that? Like, what are your thoughts in regards to, man, this legacy that I'm trying to create or establish?
And
What am I trying to
it's
build?
not yeah, it's not something that's easy either, right? Like
Not at all.
sometimes you gotta sit down and really think about that. But you gotta cut
Yeah.
out the noise and really sit down and make that plan, and then make it plain, and then go execute, because it's not it's not just willy-nilly. Like sometimes you got to put that work in.
It's definitely not. But what you said about his story made me really think. Sometimes we do things for profit, and it could negatively impact us, right?
Yes.
And sometimes we do things, for like a passion project, and it could have a resounding effect, a positive resounding effect, that impacts so many different people. But man, yeah, that's a great conversation that we're gonna have. In fact, as you guys are putting your information in your chat, I just wanted to kind of I was just thinking about that. Like I was just thinking about the fact that, legacy is something that we all are gonna have, whether we realize it or not.
Yeah.
It's not like you can escape it. It's all about being intentional about how you form it, or how you are intentional about developing it. Because, like you said, that was his obituary. So everybody, by the when we pass away, we're gonna have an obituary, and that is basically going to be a culmination of our legacy and what is going to be said about us. Yeah, man. Sometimes we don't want to think about death. Obviously, we want to think about life more than death, but it really does have something that we need to really kind of focus in on.
That's the thing. Nobody thinks about it. Nobody wants to think about it. It's a dark shadow casted over it. Fair enough, but ultimately we got to, right? Like, or else, either you're writing that, right, based on how you navigate and how you strategically plan to get it done, or somebody else is gonna write it for you, and then it's just left up to chance.
Yeah,
like, it's not uncommon that people that you work with are there, or at, like, if you were, I can remember a guy who had a big impact at a company that I worked with. He suffered from like passing out like at random times. I can't remember what it was or anything, but
epilepsy or seizures.
It might have been. I can't really remember. This was maybe like 5 or 6 years ago. But ultimately, it was the wrong time. It happened one time, and he was driving, and kind of came to his demise. But basically, man, it was probably about 400 or 500 of us there.
Wow.
I'm talking about from work. Right now, I worked with 1,200 people. It easily could be about 350 to 400 of us. It was a huge church, but the main thing that I get out of that, or that I'm talking about here, is that he had an impact at his job, enough so that these people decided to include myself to go to his funeral. Like, you don't know this guy outside of work like that, right? But it wasn't just his family there, is what I'm saying. There were people from his job. So you are making, like you said, regardless whether you know it or not, you are leaving a legacy. You are writing your book in some kind of capacity. It's just, are you intentional about it? Intention is like exactly that. Like, are you intentional about what you do, or are you just haphazardly letting it get built?
Yeah.
It may work out for you. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
It may.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I actually got Scott on the line. I'm gonna try to bring us all up at the same time. He's gonna keep his camera off. But yeah, go ahead, Scott. You're on the line now.
Hey, brother. I guess for me, it's like networking and the internal one, because like for me, I find that a lot of times, kind of like what me and you talked about the other day, like that brag book. Like you hear people talk about that now in tech about building the brag book. I never thought about doing a brag book. I just did stuff because I care. You know what I mean? Like I went through and my earlier stages with a different company, like I told you, I went through, we had 30 different providers, and I went through and learned every single one of them's quirks. And, I was asked by administration one day to basically become the trainer, because I knew every single doctor, what everybody wanted, how they wanted it. And so whenever we had new hires brought in, I was the one that had to teach her, even though I wasn't a so-called trainer. I was the one that had to teach everybody, because I knew how every doctor wanted to be. And it's just like when I decided to leave, like it was like you said, kind of a free for all. But I was like, hold on, what the hell you mean you're leaving? Why? What's going on? What happened? I didn't think nothing about it. I didn't think, I knew I was cool with a lot of the doctors, but I didn't think I had that type of impact because all I knew was I was doing my job. I cared about my patients. I made sure my patients were happy. I made sure my doctors was happy. I just did what I thought I was supposed to do. And when I left, it just created like you said, a frenzy. Like, what can we do? What can we do? It's like, no, this is just something I feel like I need to do. And like they tried their best to talk me into, we'll do whatever you want. We know we've had some things happen. We will fix it. We will this, we will that. It's not about that. It's just something I feel like I need to do. But I had no idea that I made that type of impact. So that's my thing now, is just realizing, what do I actually bring to the table and how to elevate that and accentuate that in any role that I take, in any place that I go, to make sure that I am leaving that impact. Because ultimately, like you talked about earlier, I have a heart for veterans. So ultimately, that's my thing. No matter what I do, I eventually want to branch out and do my own thing, start a business that caters to our nation's military and vets, and helping them get the help that they need. I don't necessarily want like the limelight from it.
Yeah.
For me, it's more or less just doing it in the shadows, and just knowing that, like my small circle of family and friends, know I'm a part of it. I don't really want or care about the world knowing I do it. It's just like, just to be able to have that vet that, they get their check, but they don't have enough to buy all their groceries. I can just cut a check and give them a check to get their groceries. They got a surgery coming up, and their VA bill ain't gonna cover everything. I can work with different organizations and know that, this person has the surgery coming up. They're gonna be short $5,000. I can cut a check and they can have their surgery. They don't have to know I did it. None of that. Like, I don't really care about that stuff. I just know in my own heart, what I want to do, because of what I saw my uncle go through coming back from Korea and Vietnam, and the stories that I heard what he went through and what he had to deal with. And, it just, for what they do, they don't get all the help that they need and they deserve. And that's my whole thing, is just be able to be in a position, make the money that I can get a company started, do my own thing, and do stuff that I wish my uncle would have been able to get, and some of my cousins, and be able to be that person that, I can help somebody. I know I can't help everybody, but the ones I can help, I want to. And that's my thing now at 43, is make his transition, pivot, get in here, start making this tech money, and use that to transition into a side hustle that can hopefully be able to, God willing, let me do what I feel like, my purpose is to give back to the vets and give back to our nation's military for the sacrifices that they make for us to be able to live the life that we live and be free. Don't get me wrong, our country ain't all peaches and cream and roses, but damn it, we got it better we got better than most, whether people want to admit it or not. We got it better than most here. We get it better than most. So that's my little soapbox, brother.
No, that's for real, man. Appreciate that for real, because I mean, I said too sometimes, man. People hate paying the taxes and stuff like that, but I'll be real. I'll pay them because somebody has to be on the aircraft carrier while I'm up, or not up, but while I'm asleep at night. Like when I'm knocked out in the bed, somebody's on that aircraft carrier looking out. They up, trying to make sure nothing's happening over here. And so, I know I'm not called to do that. I'm not led to do it. I never had the thought to want to do that. And I know that there are people who do. And so for that, I'm with you. I'm with you on that.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, Scott, thank you so much for sharing. It's one of those things that really is that's exactly what it is, what we're talking about, legacy, right? It's one of those things where it's really a passion project, something that's really near and dear to your heart, that really makes a great impact, like the Nobel Peace Prize. Now that's something that we reckon now everybody who is in something similar to what you're looking to do is being recognized for it, because somebody decided to say, hey, I want to be known more for peace than for dynamite, for being the The Death Merchant. That
For
was a
real.
crazy. That's a crazy thing
Bro,
that was
that
written
line
down.
is crazy. Yeah.
Wow, man.
Whoever that writer was cold blooded. Like, I mean, he was good with that pen, man.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Scott. Really appreciate you
Yeah.
jumping on the show and being here with us.
Of course, I appreciate the opportunity, and everything that you brothers are doing, man. It's just awesome to be a part of this and watch you guys grow, man. I've been with y'all for a minute now, man, and I've been with each one of y'all individually and now collectively, and just to see what you are doing for the community, not even just the tech community, but our community, is just amazing, and I'm just blessed to be a part of it. So much love to y'all, and thank y'all for everything.
Yo,
Thank you.
appreciate you, Scott, bro.
Thank you
For
as
real.
well. Thank you as well. And man, and so that this has been a great conversation, and we want to keep the conversation rolling. So go ahead and reach out to us. Go ahead and, if you, like I said, if you are on LinkedIn, go ahead, like, comment, and share this with others. But also, if you're on YouTube, whether you're watching on my channel or Trey's, go ahead, like, comment, share, and subscribe as well, especially if this is resonating with you. And yeah, man, I think this is a really good conversation. I don't want to pivot, but I think it's I think it's a good thing because legacy is important, right? When it comes in all shapes, forms, and sizes. And we got our RoundBox special, y'all, a RoundBox special. And if you guys been rocking with us for a minute, you know what this RoundBox special is all about. This is basically a story of someone that was let go, fired for something that was not the best decision that they were supposed to make. And if you have any of those stories, it don't have to be your own, but if you have any of those stories, feel free to jump on, and you can even call in and share your story, or you can write in the comment section about somebody that was let go because they did something crazy. And I'm gonna read this one that we have right here. Thank you for BuzzFeed for providing the story. I really appreciate you for all the work that you do.
Yes.
But basically, the story goes like this. I worked in maintenance at a beach resort. One of the housekeepers managed to get her son a job as a quote unquote runner, someone who would collect dirty laundry after the housekeepers stripped the beds. She was actually worried when he started working because I guess he'd had a bad track record with other jobs. About 3 days after he started working, his mother confronted him about his new, expensive looking athletic shoes and a gold chain around his neck. And the rest is history.
Bruh. I mean, you ain't even
Not a
had
good
a check
legacy.
yet. No, man. how you popping up in your mama house with a new gold chain and you haven't even got the check yet? She know where you was just right before that, man.
You
And
can't
you
even say
already
like,
done got the gold chain.
and you can't even say like tips or anything like that. You're doing it after the guests leave.
Come on, bro. That's cold blooded. Here's problem number one, bro. She knew her son before she got him on.
Oh yeah.
She knew her son, bro. That's why she was worried. She was worried when he started working because she knew probably he had a bad track, or the person said he probably had a bad track record. She knew that, man. That's your son. Why you getting him on at your job? I'm sorry, but there's no way. There is no way.
Hey, no
You're
way.
not about to mess up my reputation.
My
Then
legacy.
got people looking. Exactly. Got people looking at me crazy.
Oh, she's just the mother of that guy that was stealing stuff.
That's it. That's what you're known for now.
Yeah, which is
cold
sad.
blooded.
It's not her.
That's cold.
Yeah, like that's what Mitch said. She knew his legacy up to that point.
That's it, bro. And she should have said, "Hey, you're gonna have to go somewhere else. You need to get at McDonald's, or I mean, like somewhere else. You're not getting on with me."
Yeah, and they said he hit them with the Azelle from Friday. I'll just take these shoes.
Yeah, man.
Oh,
Patting it down. Let me get that up off you. Hey, Scott, he's supposed to be going in after the guests leave. He going in the rooms while the guests still there. Come on, man.
Facts.
Come
The
on,
shoes
man.
and the gold chain. Yeah,
Come on, dude.
I don't know. Maybe somebody left that by mistake, but
It's possible. It is possible, but he hitting them up, man.
Yeah, he like in life.
What you doing back
Can I
there,
have
man?
your cornbread? He's just cornbread, just taking it. Yeah, little fact.
God, dog.
Oh man. Oh man. Do you have any brown box special stories, family? Go ahead and put it in the chat. If actually better yet, hit us up on LinkedIn and send it to us, and we'll basically look it over. And if anything, we'll have it ready to go for the next episode. If we deem it a great one, it doesn't have to be a long one either. But if you have a great brown box special story, it could be somebody you know. Don't gotta be yourself. But if you have a story that you want to share, then we could definitely talk about it and share it here. And sometimes it doesn't have to be a one that even is a person's fault, because Trey and I had a conversation the other day, yesterday, about somebody that got let go, and it was not their fault at all. In fact, the job did them dirty. So yeah, no. So that was Scott's funny. So you be eating corn, huh? Oh man, I like corn, but but well, that was a funny part of the movie life. Yo, you want your cornbread? He's like, what?
Oh no, Scott was talking about Ezel from
Oh,
Friday.
he's there.
When he was
You
when he's
eating
back there
corn.
when he's back there looking at Smokey take that dump. What you?
Oh, I didn't make the
He was
connection.
asking what he was doing back there. Yeah, he was asking what he was doing back there.
So you be eating corn. Okay, now that's funny. Yeah, a layer of funny to that now. Oh no, thank y'all. That's funny. That's funny for sure. Well, family, we want to say thank you again for rocking with us every Monday morning. And let me just discuss the plan with y'all, just so you guys know what we're looking to do. We're looking to really build this thing out. I'm gonna pull back the curtain a little bit. Before I do, I got Scott on, and he's gonna share, I think, a brown box special story. Go ahead, brother Scott. Bring it back. Bring it back.
All right, brother. The last one, yeah, I know I work in medical, so I got thousands of these. The last one about was a cleaning crew I knew at one of the buildings I worked at. So the cleaning crew had been coming in. People kept saying stuff had been come up missing. Couldn't nobody figure out what was going on. Well, one of the the building manager stayed behind one day and caught the cleaning crew at somebody's desk. They had jimmied this girl's desk drawer lock open and had opened up her brand new bag of donuts. It was eating her eating her donuts at the desk, brother. Instead of cleaning, they was cleaning out the bag.
Bro.
The donuts?
Yes, bro.
Come on, man.
Broke into the daggone desk drawer, got the donuts, and then also took some money. So
tearing them up.
Needless to say, the whole crew got excommunicado. They had to get a whole new cleaning crew come in. But yeah, it's just like, how crazy can you be? The drawer is locked. You are that hungry that you had to break somebody's desk drawer to get in to get their donuts?
For the donuts, man.
I said,
caught you powdered handed, bro.
Right, exactly.
Powder all over the face.
Right.
Freeze.
Come on, man.
You made the fingerprint process easy as hell.
Super easy. Super easy.
It's like, I don't even have to get a brush.
Right.
Guilty as charged.
Right. Just craziness, bro. Like, what is wrong with y'all? Like, it cannot be that hard up for you to have to steal money and donuts. Like,
yeah,
that's the money. Just take the money and go get food. Now, don't break in somebody's drawer and get donuts too.
The donuts was too easy. They was right there, bro. They was right there. They had to do it.
Right. That's insult.
That don't make sense.
It don't. Ain't no way.
All right, man. Y'all take care.
Yo, you too. You too.
Thank you, man. Thank you for rocking with us and jumping on, man. Caught you white powdered handed. Like
powdered handed.
Powdered handed. All right. Well, we'll be going. We're not finna be with you long, as they say. But one thing I wanted to say, and Trey, if you want to jump on this, you can jump on this as well. We're looking to build this thing out, right? And what I mean by that is we are looking to add more days to the show, but we're working on some things. And once that time comes, we're going to announce a few things, and we're going to have you be participants to help us build out the show. And so that time will come. We'll keep you posted, but keep on the lookout. Just know that when you like, comment, subscribe, and share, it is helping us to get to our goals. So keep on the lookout, and we'll definitely be talking with you more about that, y'all. But yeah, I just wanted to say thank you. This is Thanksgiving week.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have a great one. And we will see you next week, Monday, after you have eaten, maybe went a little shopping. We'll see you next week, Monday. Yes, sir.
Next
Dope.
week,
Yeah. Keep tuning.
same
We'll let us know.
same time, same place. The
Same.
#1 tech morning talk show in the world. Talk that tech, man. We're gonna see y'all in the next one.
I like that. You can close it out every day like that, every time like that.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
you.
All right, family. Till next time. Take care, y'all.